Ladies and gentlemen, if we could begin to find our seats, we're going to get started here in about 2 minutes. Thank you very much. Hey, folks, I just wanted to make an announcement. Tonight's program is being live streamed on the Bentonville Tiger app, as well as the website gobentonvilletigers.com. We're recording tonight's ceremony, and we'll upload that to our YouTube channel in the next couple of days. So if you've got family out of town, they can see it at gobentonvilletigers.com or the Bentonville Tiger app. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get started. Good evening. My name is John McElroy, and on behalf of the Bentonville High School Athletic Department, I'd like to welcome everyone to the 5th annual Bentonville High School Athletic Hall of Honor ceremony. We are so glad that all of you could be here with us this evening to celebrate these 7 outstanding Bentonville Tigers that make up the Hall of Honor class of 2024. Before we begin the program tonight, I'd like to take a moment to recognize a few people that have been instrumental in support of this program. First, I'd like to recognize Superintendent of Bentonville Schools, Dr. Debbie Jones. Bentonville Schools Director of Athletics, Mr. Billy Tips. And of course, the principal of Bentonville High School, Mr. Jack Lloyd. Folks, it's important for a district to have leaders like these that understand the importance of our athletic programs and how excellence in these programs work to complement and enhance our outstanding academics. We certainly appreciate their support and all they do for the students, staff, and the patrons of the Bentonville School District. Next, I would be remiss if I didn't recognize Bentonville High School Athletic Director, Chris Hutchins. Chris. Coach Hutchins, as he's known, is the individual here tonight that has taken the vision of this hall and made it a reality. Coach Hutchins has been the key piece in the organization and coordination of tonight's program, and without his work, we would not be sitting here this evening. Let's please give another round of applause to Bentonville High School Athletic Director, Chris Hutchins. And finally, I'd like to recognize the members of the Hall of Honor Board of Directors that are here tonight that have worked over the past spring and summer to select this class of inductees, as well as to help organize tonight's event. Would each of you please stand as I call your name? Billy Tips, Chris Hutchins, Jack Lloyd, Donnie Myers. Donnie Myers here this evening. Martha Calger, Shane Redd, Todd Hook, Amber Morey, and Robert Lewis. Let's give a round of applause for these folks. So in a moment, we'll be inducting 7 outstanding individuals as members of the Bentonville High School Athletics Hall of Honor. The process of selecting these members begin each fall when nominations for the Hall are solicited from the Bentonville community at large. Once the community submits their nominations, members of the Hall of Honor Board of Directors evaluate each of the candidates and a vote is taken to finalize the class. Not only were the candidates here tonight evaluated on their contributions to Tiger athletics during their time at Bentonville High School, they were also evaluated on the characteristics that are symbolic of excellence embodied by Bentonville High School. Character, integrity, contributions to school and the community at large beyond high school are the things that make a true Bentonville Tiger. And these are certainly the attributes of the inductees we have here tonight. So now let me take a moment to explain how we're going to proceed with the program. Each inductee has invited a person to say a few words about it.
It's great to see you of our classmates, but we continue to get together. We continue to see each other here in this area and have fun together as former classmates, friends, teammates from those years of wonderful Bentonville High School, which is near and dear to us. And I just want to close with this, and I want this to be heard by Harvey and by you. I want you to remember there are friends in life and there are friends for life. And thanks for being my friend for those years, Harvey.
Thank you, Mr. Cavness, and congratulations, Mr. Harvey Ricketts. Our next inductee was a graduate of the Bentonville High School class of 1969. Would you please give a round of applause for Bentonville High School Athletic Hall of Honor inductee, Steve Birchie. Here tonight to accept this award and to say a few words about Steve is his son, Robert Birchie. Please welcome Mr. Robert Birchie to the podium at this time.
Good evening, everyone. It is my profound privilege to introduce a man whose legacy continues to resonate in this community. My late father, Steve Birchie. Thank you. Though he is no longer with us, his spirit, values, and contributions to Bentonville live on in all of us. Steve was Bentonville's first baby of the year in 1951, making him a true native son of this remarkable town. From the very beginning, Bentonville shaped his life. His grandparents on both sides were deeply rooted here, contributing to the community through farming and local businesses. His parents were also proud graduates of Bentonville High School, setting a strong example for their children. It's no wonder that his own children and grandchildren would continue that tradition, now representing 4 generations of Bentonville Tigers. My father's love for Bentonville High School was evident throughout his life. As a young man, he excelled as an all-district and all-state tackle on the football team. He not only demonstrated remarkable athletic talent, but also learned valuable lessons about teamwork, discipline, and perseverance on the field. Playing in the East-West All-Star game at War Memorial Stadium was a proud moment for him, but his connection to BHS extended far beyond sports. He was selected to attend Arkansas Boys State, where his interest in politics blossomed, a passion that would manifest in his adult life. After graduating from Bentonville, my dad earned a football scholarship and pursued his education further, eventually returning home to dedicate himself to the community. His commitment to Bentonville was unwavering. He served in numerous capacities, including mayor from 1986 to 1991. Under his leadership, Bentonville underwent significant transformation. He was instrumental in turning around the city's financial challenges, ensuring that public services remained intact and that the community could thrive. One of his proudest achievements was helping pave the way for the bypass to Fayetteville, a development that still has long-lasting benefits to the city. Beyond his political achievements, my father was a man of deep integrity and compassion. He believed in serving others and dedicated his life to improving the quality of life in Bentonville. His involvement extended to serve on the Bentonville School Board. He was president of Bentonville Little League and contributed to youth soccer initiatives, always seeking ways to uplift the next generation. Family was a cornerstone of my father's life. He cherished his role as a husband to my mother, Sandy, and to my sister, Stephanie, as well as his grandchildren. Reagan and Allison, and my two kids who are not here, Owen and Royce. Even in his final days, he focused on creating lasting memories with them, emphasizing the importance of family bonds. He wanted to ensure that they felt his love and guidance, knowing that his time was limited. As we are gathered here today, I'm reminded of the countless lives my father touched through his work, his friendships, and his unwavering commitment to this community. He had a way of connecting with people. His personality, integrity, and ready smile made him a very well-loved figure. Bentonville was not just where he lived, it was his home, and he invested himself wholeheartedly into its growth and success. Though my father is no longer here to accept this honor, I know he would be incredibly proud. This recognition reflects his love for his family, service to the community, and devotion to Bentonville. His legacy is a reminder of the impact one person can have on the lives of many. It is my honor to introduce my late father, Steve Birchie, a man whose spirit will always be part of Bentonville. Thank you.
Our next inductee was a graduate of the Bentonville High School class of 1997. Would you please give a round of applause for Bentonville High School Athletic Hall of Honor inductee, Mr. Jim Sellers. Jim has invited Bentonville High School Athletic Hall of Honor class of 2023 inductee, Kyle Sanders, to speak on his behalf. Please welcome Mr. Kyle Sanders to the podium.
Reach out to your friends and nominate them next year. You know, that's the payback that you did for me. So appreciate it, Jim, for speaking for me last year, and here I am today. So it's truly an honor to recognize Jim. He's been a lifelong friend, neighbor growing up, a teammate, and I can't say enough about the friendship that we had and the lasting friendship we still have today. Jim's journey in swimming started at the young age of 7 with the Bentonville Stingrays. But I had the privilege of knowing him, growing up next door to him, spending countless times at his house and him at my house. Wasn't long before really recognized Jim's determination and work ethic, which began at a very young age. Whether it was in the pool or out of the pool, Jim was constantly leading by example, and he was the leader of our team that really pushed the team forward and really set the tradition of hard work here in Bentonville at Bentonville High for our swim team, the Walmart Swim Club, Bentonville Stingrays team. I truly would not be or have accomplished the things I accomplished in my swimming career if it wasn't for Jim. I was constantly behind him in the pool, chasing him in the pool my entire career until we all went off to different colleges. Jim went off to Georgia, I went off to Texas. Jim quickly became a standout swimmer, setting Arkansas state records in breaststroke events, relays, etc. His drive to excel pushed him to become the junior national champion in both the 100 and 200 breaststrokes in 1996, which is a truly remarkable achievement, which earned him the #2 breaststroker coming out of high school going into college. Jim didn't shine just individually. He was a key part of 3 high school state championships, brought home numerous individual titles, and was a 4-time All-American here at Bentonville. His leadership was undeniable both in and out of the pool. He consistently pushed himself, setting high standards for his teammates and future swimmers of Bentonville and our local swim clubs. He was named Arkansas Swimmer of the Year in 1996, a title that perfectly captured his commitment to the sport. After high school, Jim continued to excel at the University of Georgia on a swimming scholarship where he swam for 4 years, and served as the co-captain his senior year. He competed at the 2000 Olympic trials in the 100-meter breaststroke, which was truly a crowning achievement to his swimming career. Shortly after, was also named Arkansas Swimming Hall of Fame member as well. So, very good achievement. We owe a great deal of thanks to the coaches who've helped Jim along the way, particularly Carolyn Hefner. I don't think she's here today, but she is a swimming legend here in Bentonville. And Stuart Smith, who still continues to coach this today in North Texas. They saw in Jim what we all saw, a talented, driven, and exceptional leader. Jim's accomplishments in life go far beyond swimming. He's built a successful career as a real estate broker, opened his own firm, seller properties, and is raising 3 wonderful daughters with his wife, Christy. But no matter where life has taken him, one thing has always remained true. Jim Sellers sets a standard of excellence in everything he does. Jim, it's been a truly incredible journey swimming, growing up with you, and you've inspired me to be better along with others, and it's truly my honor to be here inducting you or introducing you into the High School Hall of Honor.
Our next inductee this evening was a graduate of the Bentonville High School class of 2009. Would you please give a round of applause for Bentonville High School Athletic Hall of Honor inductee, Eric Ragsdale. Eric has asked former Bentonville High School head football coach and Bentonville High School Athletic Hall of Honor inductee, Coach Barry Lunny Sr. to speak on his behalf. Let's please give Coach Lunny a big round of applause.
Thank you, John. Isn't this fun? Isn't this good how much this has grown? How many were here the first night we did this? Nobody? How many were here the first night, the first Hall of Fame induction? We got a few people here. But this has grown into something that was long overdue, and congratulations to the committee and school. Everybody associated with it has really turned into something that was long overdue to recognize the people in this wonderful area, Bentonville High School, and this community. You've got your brochures. You can all see Eric's accolades, all the things that he has done while he was here and into college. As a matter of fact, his college coach, Coach Huckabee, Ronnie, is here, one of the great legends in our state of Arkansas. Ronnie, wave so everybody can see. There you go. Dear friend. We were talking before, just a little bit briefly before, and he said, you know, what didn't Eric just have an incredible state championship game? And I said, well, you know, it would have been hard pressed for anybody else to get the MVP award. When you look, and I wrote these down real quick, he had 11 carries, and he was primary defensive player. We'll talk about that a little bit. But we moved Eric, last few games of the season, I think it was, a little bit of offense production. And we needed a little bit of hard-nosed running with the running backs, and so we moved him to running back. But in the state championship game, he had 11 carries for 125 yards. He had 3 touchdowns. He intercepted a pass right before half, returned it 26 yards to set up a field goal. His time ran out right before half. And he had a 90-yard touchdown run. Now, the unique thing about that is Eric can't outrun me, and he had a 90-yard touchdown run. That's not true. He can't outrun me, but it was an incredible event during that afternoon. You know, he did break free, and he outran. Some people carry their pads better than others, and he did. But he, obviously in any championship, it takes the whole team, it takes everybody. But you cannot, I don't remember the number of tackles he had, but you can't deny the contributions that he had. It just jumped out at you. I mean, it was significant that night. that afternoon. You know, I got to know Eric as a ninth grader, I think, when I first came here in 2005, I believe it was. And we lost the game in the semifinals his junior year. We thought we had an opportunity to make the finals that year. We lost the game in the semifinals, and it didn't sit well with Eric and some of that leadership of that program. And they committed themselves for really an outstanding offseason, the work that it takes to have a chance to do that. And you know, winning, you all know winning is real hard to do. You understand winning is hard to do. Some people don't understand how hard it is to win, because there's other people that are trying to do the same thing. Coach Gatling, Harvey, I got to coach with Bob at Fort Smith Southside for years, and Bob's his statement was, winning is so much fun, I don't know why anybody would want to lose. Pretty simple, isn't it? But it is hard to win. But Eric and the rest of those guys went to work. They committed themselves to do some better things than they did the year before. We started the tradition, and I'm not sure if it was before this senior year with Eric or not, but we decided to take a football helmet and put it in the middle of the room the night before our first ball game, period, and have the kids who felt like they wanted to come up, put their hand on the helmet, and just make a commitment to their fellow teammates, which you can expect from me for this year. Coach Grant reminded me of this today. I had forgotten it, but he said that Eric put his hand on the helmet, and he said, "You can count on me, my teammates, to play my best, do my best every Friday night when we hit the field." His hand on the helmet. For every Friday night, for the 12 weeks, on Friday night, I'm committing to do that. And he said, and on one Saturday in December, which is the day of state championship game. And Jody told me that. He still reminds, by the way, Eric, he reminds the players every year of that right there. You have to have a vision. You have to have an understanding of what you want to do. And the commitment to even think about that Saturday, because we got so close the year before. And he was not going to let it go unnoticed. The reason we're here for all of these people and today to go in the Hall of Fame, we can read their statistics, we can read all the accolades they have, we can read all the good stuff that they've done statistically and all those things like that. But probably what we miss sometimes in all this, which is probably the most important thing, the intangibles about what's in the heart, what's inside the person. All that other stuff is great. Gives a lot of people on talk radio something to talk about and for us to remember. And gosh, if you ask me, look back at my stats of how they've gotten so much better over the years, Coach Huck. You notice that over the years. I remember when I played quarterback. Now I think I threw for about 3,000 yards, I mean, we didn't ever throw the ball but about 5 times back then. But the thing that we all have in common, all the inductees, is because the other things. Most of them were involved in the student body, student council, were the leaders in their classroom. All the intangible things. We're always making other people around them better. And that's what Eric did. I think I look back at him as we talked and I started reflecting. It's been 16 years ago. I can't believe it's been that long. 16 years ago this year. And I think about it, the thing that Eric and I'm sure the rest of those that are in this room did, one of the characteristics of those people, they make everybody around them better. They make everyone around them, their teammates, better. In the classroom, the hallways. There's something about leadership. I get a chance to do this here in just a minute with another young man, so some of my notes and stuff spinning in the head. But I'm going to tell you this. I got asked, speaking somewhere in a men's group, and somebody asked me the first question, we had a Q&A, and he said, "What is your definition of leadership?" I said, "My gosh, won't you ask me an easy question right off the bat?" And I really didn't have an answer, because you can go to the bookstore and and I've got books, I've got them in my office, home, library, about leadership. And I heard somebody else say this. I stole this. This is not original to me. I've had very few original thoughts. I try to steal everything I can. And it said, "I don't know what leadership, what the definition of it is, but you know it when you see it." That's probably the best definition. And when I think about Eric, you know it when you saw it. You saw it in the 9th grade, you saw it in the sophomore year, you saw it in his junior year, you saw it in his senior year. You know it when you see it. There's something within somebody that just has that something extra that you can't define. It's a winner. You really cannot put it in the dictionary. You don't know what it is, but they just lift everybody else up, and that's what Eric Ragsdale did to our program, and it launched us, and we did win that state championship that year, and the patterns, the behaviors, you know, I read this too recently, that peer modeling is almost equal to the coach student athlete. In other words, fractionally, that student athlete, that senior or that junior that's a good player, pulls that other player aside and talks to him about the way he's holding the football or he steps off the line of scrimmage. It fractionally is less than that coach talking to him. That's pretty significant. I don't want all the athletic directors to get an idea you can do away with all your coaches, just hire kids. But that's a really interesting thing. Peer modeling is a very strong thing. And what Eric did to others around him, that modeling behavior, that set the path for the next generation behind him, the guys that play behind him. And it's pretty well documented for the next several years that our program really took off because of young men like Eric Ragsdale. Marcus Dandenauer, one of his teammates, is sophomore on that team. He went on to the University of Arkansas a few years later and played. Was a sophomore on that team that 2008. And he said this morning, we were talking about it, he said, when I watched Eric, the way he carried himself, and Marcus is, for those of you know him, is real quiet, just doesn't say much. He said, when I watched Eric, I learned a lot. I never said it to him, but I learned so much how to carry myself. And when my time came as a senior, I was able to walk the walk like Eric Ragsdale did. Eric, congratulations. It's an honor to be here tonight, to be able to represent you and your family. We miss your dad not being here, significant man in your life. We had a great talk today about it, but we are so proud of you. So thank you for all that you've done for me and our program at Bentonville High School. Thank you.
Our next inductee was a graduate of the Bentonville High School class of 2012. Would you please give a round of applause for Bentonville High School Athletic Hall of Honor inductee, Shane Wildman Reed. Shane could not be here tonight, and she has invited former Bentonville High School head volleyball coach, Michelle Smith, to speak on her behalf. Let's please welcome Coach Smith to the podium.
Hello. Hey guys, as you know, I'm Coach Smith. I was here for quite some time, and I'm still a Tiger, still bleed black and gold. When Shane called me and she said, "Hey Coach, do you know about this Hall of Fame thing?" I was like, "Yes, sweet girl, I nominated you." And she was like, "Oh, okay. Can you talk on my behalf?" I said, "Yes, baby, I got you." So here I am, once again, talking about one of my babies, because every year I had 30 new girls. Even though I have 3 at home, those Tigers were my girls. They were my babies. And I love all of them the same, but this one, you know, I'm getting emotional just talking about her. She was very special. 2 state championships, that's great. All of her accolades, you guys can see them, just like Coach Lunny said, they're right there in front of you. She did some amazing things. But what I remember is I grew as a coach as she grew as a player. I learned from her, she learned from me. I was still a younger coach at the time. I hadn't had children yet, so I was very strict. I didn't get it at times. You know, those 5 a.m. practices, I was like, why not? Now with 3 kids, I'm like, let's sleep in and we'll practice after school. But it did make me tough, it made her tough. When I asked her her fondest moment, her funniest moment, she said, "Coach, it was when I showed up at practice with white contacts in my eyes, and I got in very big trouble." I said, "Yes, you did, baby. Yes, you did." She ran a lot for that. But did it make her a better person? Yeah, I think she knew not to wear white contacts to practice anymore. Her fondest memory was winning here on the Tiger Gym floor, state championship, 5th game, 15-13, against Fayetteville. We all know that rivalry right there against Fayetteville. Yeah, we got some clapping back there. So all of that said, we learned some really good lessons together as a coach and as a player. This is wonderful. This is amazing. And it's years later. She's a mama now. She has 2 sweet baby boy twins. She's stuck in Georgia without electricity, without power, without water. The hurricane. She texted me this morning, first thing, Coach, I can't make it. I'm like, sweet baby, just stay there. Take care of your children. I got this. And that just sums up our relationship. 15 years ago, if I hadn't answered that phone from Tracy calling me from Texas, little did I know they're on their way to tryouts. I've already had tryouts. And she's like, Coach, at that time it was Coach Coons. Coach Coons, I have this daughter. She's played a little bit of volleyball. Can she try out for you? And I'm like, sweetheart, we're the Tigers. Like, we've already had tryouts. We're ready to win another state championship. But we'll make time. Come in after after school's out. We'll make time in June. I am so glad I answered that phone call. Gatorade Player of the Year. She comes in as a sophomore, walks into the gym. I got my clipboard, and I'm like, I look over at my assistant, and I go, I think we'll take her. She was amazing. As a baby, she was amazing. She came in, she rocked my socks off in a good way and a bad way. She was my Spitfire. She was that player that you just love so much at times, and at other times you go to bed and you're like, oh, and your husband looks at you and goes, what's wrong? Like, I got a fire. I got a fire on my team. Well, sweetheart, don't you want those fires? And I was like, yeah, I do. And I'm so glad I kept that fire. She lit up the team when it needed to be lit up. She brought us together when we needed a captain to bring us together. I have so many stories that I could just go on and on and on about her. But you guys are here for other reasons, but I just wanted to share a little bit of my heart with you guys and what this player has meant to me over the years. And like I said, once a Tiger, always a Tiger. And really, once a baby, always my baby. So Shane, hi, and I love you.
Thank you, Coach Smith. All right, our next inductee was a graduate of the Bentonville High School class of 2016. Would you please give a big round of applause for Bentonville High School Athletic Hall of Honor inductee, Casey Ford. Casey has asked former Bentonville High School head football coach and Bentonville High School Hall of Honor inductee, Coach Barry Lunny Sr., to speak on his behalf. Once again, let's welcome Coach Barry Lunny.
Did Malik make it? He did, didn't he? So I got to see his tape before they. Wait, sorry, I'm gonna get to you, Casey. But So I saw his junior high tape in football. Somebody sent me when you're playing receiver, right? And I said, what have I got to do to get this guy out? And they said, it ain't happening, Coach. I said, well, just give me a shot. Just give me a shot with him. And I did find him and talk to him. I said, you understand, I'm just going to ask you to come in the red zone. I don't know if you remember that. I'm just come in the red. You don't have to play until we get to the red zone. And then we're going to throw you an alley-oop. It's just going to look different. And you're going to catch it. You're going to be a hero. And you can go ahead and shoot your basketball later. But anyway, maybe, did you give it a little thought? She wouldn't let you. Your mama wouldn't let you. Too violent. Well, I think you probably chose the right way to go. But boy, wouldn't that have been fun? My mind was just running. How can I, man, this is going to be great. It's going to be wonderful. Well, Casey Ford, Casey, stand up just a minute. I want everybody to see how little you are. Stand up. So that's good. Have a seat. So this guy, I hear my son was here coaching with me at that time, and I think Coach York, and they tell me about this kid that's down in Lincoln Junior High School throwing the ball around. He said he's really big, and I said, well, how big? He says like 6'4", 6'5". I mean, I don't know how big he was at that age. And we watched the tape, and he said he can really throw it. I said, he'll never play quarterback. He'll be an offensive tackle for us, and he'll be playing at Arkansas if he's any good. And they said, no. We kept watching. I looked at him and I said, he can't play quarterback. He's too big. He doesn't move good enough in this league. Does that tell you about, when you start making observations about things? I also said Corliss Williamson would never make it in the NBA because he wasn't big enough too. So that's how much I know about that. But Casey came and proved us all wrong. It was a defensive lineman nightmare to have to break through the offensive line and try to sack this guy. It was not going to happen. What was so unique about Casey is that I think, you can correct me, but I think your first playing action was against Broken Arrow out here at Tiger Stadium. The next week, your first start against Trinity Euless, the national powerhouse program out of the state of Texas. I don't know if any of you were there for that. And that's not real wise to put your sophomore quarterback starting against one of the premier football programs, not only in the South and Texas, but in the whole United States. But that night, we didn't win. We were close. We were real close. We played really well. A quarterback was born, a real quarterback, even as a young sophomore, which is very hard to do. It's hard to win. Did I say that a while ago? It is hard to win, especially with a sophomore quarterback. We did have a good supporting cast around him. But the beautiful thing about it, again, you look at the accolades, just like we've mentioned, there are numerous football, basketball, baseball. Coach Abbott's back there, coached both of these, Eric and Casey both, part of their success and development here. It was an incredible journey sophomore year to be able to do what we did. We go down to Little Rock for the state championship game, delayed a week because of weather, and we go down and play Little Rock, and we went out to warm. I don't know if any of y'all were there, but I didn't even want to be there. It was a miserable night. It was, I think, 28 degrees, sleeting, snow, raining. It was miserable. And we went out to warm up, did our warm-ups, came back in, and Coach Grant said, I came in and sat in the coach's dressing room in the War Memorial Stadium and said, well, how was the warm-ups? And he said, I don't remember saying this. He said, Casey threw the ball. It was terrible. We threw the ball. And I don't think we caught one pass during the pregame. It's just, we're not going to be able to run the ball. It was just, pass the ball was miserable. And kickoff started, we go out, and I don't know that I've ever had a team and a quarterback and a team throw and catch the ball any better than we did during that ball game. It was incredible. I forget how many touchdowns he threw for. He ran for one. Yes, he ran for one. It wasn't very long, but when you're that big and you fall forward, you don't have to go very far. But won the state championship his sophomore year. The next year we came back, had a lot of people returning, I had more Division I offers, college offers that spring going into the next year than probably any time in my coaching career. I don't know whether it was probably a poor job on my part getting them righted and understanding, but we might have been worried about our college choices and all wearing college hats, and we forgot about Bentonville for a while. And we start preseason number one in the state of Arkansas. Nationally ranked something, which doesn't mean anything, but it was there. And we go, I got fans holding up their fingers, 0-4. 0-4 to start the season. Had 4 defensive touchdowns scored against us 4 straight weeks. And our quarterback, part of what makes him who he is he doesn't mind being coached. He knows enough to know that he doesn't know everything, which makes good athletes, right? Eric was like that. People who know they don't know everything are willing to be coached. And it wasn't all by any stretch Casey's problem. It was a entire problem. And we got it together. We were down 18-7, looking at 0-5 right out here on homecoming against Northside. And just doing the basic fundamentals and throwing the ball like he threw it. He led us back. We'd come back and score and won 9 straight games and went to state championship game. And the final drive was just like that game. We led the whole game, got behind, and we looked in the huddle. There was Casey, and we're going to do what we always do. And probably the most unrecognizable thing that happened that day is on the scramble. Yes, Casey Ford scrambled on the 2nd and 12, or we had a loss, and he scrambled for the first down. We went in, we let him run the ball another play. I was trying to call the same play down the goal line, but we couldn't get it in. And we ended up scoring with 2 minutes or a minute 58 seconds to go to win the second state championship. The next year, he quarterbacked them to a semifinal appearance. So it's 2 state champion and a semifinal appearance. Didn't end like we wanted to the next year. But how many people can say they quarterbacked 2 state championships and a semifinal appearance? Well, that's some of the tangible things. That big guy right there has got an unbelievable heart. Compassionate, loving, kind heart. And many of you know what I'm talking about. The time that he spent with other people and invested in other people who were less fortunate in some ways than himself. And so when you have all those like Eric, Casey, whose hearts are towards others and serving others and loving their teammates, and then you take the physical stuff, right? That makes something pretty special. And that's why we're here tonight for all of those honorees. Casey, thank you so much. You went on, you saw playing baseball at Kansas State. Academic, all Big 12, well, I don't know what the leagues are anymore. They're Big 10, but they got 20 teams in them, and Big 8s, and they got 15 teams in them, so I'm not sure. With the Houston Astros, and just an incredible young man. I was so blessed to have both these guys in my life and the family, and I do want to say this. Probably for both of them, I can say this. The other component is the families supporting them, loving them, and the faith component that both these young men have. They have a deep faith in their Lord Jesus Christ, and it makes a huge difference. Thank you all.
All right, our final inductee was a graduate of the Bentonville High School class of 2016. Would you please give a round of applause for Bentonville High School Athletic Hall of Honor inductee, Malik Monk. Malik has asked former Bentonville basketball coach Brian Matchell to speak on his behalf. Let's please welcome Coach Brian Matchell.
Just need to clear up an error on Coach Lunny's part. Malik actually did play football at Bentonville High School for about 5 minutes. I was one of about 4 people to see it. He was throwing the ball around in the gym for approximately 5 minutes. He broke his finger in those 5 minutes and had to sit out a showcase game that we were going to later on that week. That just goes to show you, Mama knows best. In 2013, Malik Monk and his family moved to Bentonville, Arkansas. By the time he graduated in 2016, Malik would become the most accomplished basketball player Bentonville High School had ever seen in its over 100-year history. His junior year, he averaged 26 points a game, and during one of those games, set the school record for 53 points in a single game. His senior year, he averaged 28 points a game en route to earning honors as the 2016 7A West Player of the Year, Arkansas Gatorade Player of the Year, and 2016 Mr. Basketball for the state of Arkansas. During his time at BHS, Malik would lead his senior class in basketball to become the most accomplished class the school has ever seen on the hardwood, going to the state semifinals once, and then followed by back-to-back state championship appearances in his final 2 seasons. Following his high school career, Malik would go on to play for the Kentucky Wildcats under coach John Calipari for 1 year, and then was drafted in the first round of the NBA draft by the Charlotte Hornets. He went on to play for the Los Angeles Lakers and is now on the Sacramento Kings. He's the runner-up for the NBA's Sixth Man of the Year award last season and is entering his 8th season in the NBA as an extremely integral part of the Kings and their increased success. The awards and accolades speak for themselves. Malik Monk is not only arguably the most accomplished basketball player to ever put on a uniform at Bentonville High School, but he is arguably one of the best to pick up a basketball in the history of the state of Arkansas. That alone might be enough to warrant induction into the BHS Hall of Honor, but for me it's his leadership during his accomplishments that truly sets Malik apart. John Maxwell says leadership isn't about winning. It's about bringing others with you to the finish line. Malik did just this, not just for the players around him, but for the school and for this town. One little note example of this was the ESPN game that was played not 200 yards from where we sit right now. It was a nationally televised game that was going to create a lot of exposure for Malik, and he and his family had a significant amount of input on whether or not that game should be played on the campus of BHS or not. It could have been played in a bigger arena, in another state, and a different collegiate prospect to play against, all of which would have given him more exposure and a better chance at achieving his personal goals. But the game wasn't. With his input, the game was scheduled here so that Bentonville could be a part of it. The school could experience it. The student body could bear witness to it, and his teammates could be a part of something truly special in a place where they lived. In a town that often finds itself hard to impress, Malik was a leader in putting people in awe and causing them to dream bigger. The last-second buzzer beaters in back-to-back games that sent YouTube into a frenzy and made SportsCenter's top 10. The show-stopping dunks that appeared effortless. The images of people and lines wrapped around the outside of that gymnasium in sub-40-degree weather 4 hours prior to tip-off, before tickets were even being sold. Never got a chance to thank you for the increased crowds at our JV games, but I would like to say that right now. Those images and others will always be burned into my memory, and the memory of countless others who had the privilege of coming along for the ride. Some might view these examples as one-off events, but they weren't. They still aren't, even today. Even now, every year, Malik continues to bring people along by providing Thanksgiving meals for families in his hometown of Lepanto, Arkansas, running basketball camps for kids, and being one of the most gracious people I know in stopping for pictures with fans and never forgetting where he's from. Lastly, Malik would be the first to tell you that he didn't do this alone, that his high school career at BHS was a truly family affair. Every step of the way, Malik was supported by his mom, Jackie, and his brother, Marcus, 2 extremely solid rocks and very encouraging voices to his life. To sum it up, Malik set the bar for basketball in Bentonville, from achievements, awards, to athletic legacy. But he also set the bar in leadership along the way, showing others how to bring people around you, with you, in your journey, and how to continue to love your family in the process. With that being said, I can think of no one more deserving of an induction into the BHS Hall of Honor than the Bentonville High School's class of 2016 graduates, Malik Monk.
Wow, folks, what a fantastic evening. Hey, and we're just getting started. I think we've got something going on across the street here in a few minutes, but hey, let's give these inductees another round of applause. Okay, to close us out here tonight, I'm going to ask Bentonville High School Principal, Mr. Jack Lloyd, to come to the podium. Mr. Lloyd.
I only talk for about 30 minutes. We'll be good. We'll be there before the start of the game. Hey, I want to start off by telling you a little bit about last year in our athletics. Last year, we set a school record of 16 state titles in athletics last year. Amazing. We have great student athletes and we have great coaches, but that's not why we are so great. We're great because of the folks that are being recognized tonight that have set a history for Bentonville High School and built that from all the way back in the 50s and 60s, all the way back up to 2016, and what you've done, and going back to Coach Lunny and what he said. And I remember when Coach Lunny came, he told me, he said, Jack, we got to teach these kids how to win. And that's what he did. And Coach, we thank you, Malik, Casey, Eric, the Rickett family, and I know I'm going to miss people when I start doing this, and I hate doing it. But thank you so much for the base that you set. And Jim, I can't leave you out for sure. Thank you for what you've done in setting up Bentonville High School to be the epic center for athletics in the state of Arkansas. Thank you. And let's give them another round of applause. Hey, it's homecoming tonight.